right, everybody. I've got another very special guest for you all. I want everyone to welcome to the show Tyler Carpenter. Welcome, Tyler.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Tyler, you've been working in indie comics for a while now, doing a bunch of stuff, including The Girl with the Mega Fists and working with my buddy Travis on Coins of Judas. And now
I
you've got a
was.
book. Well, yes, was. We'll get into that. And now your publishing line has got Super Plumber Sisters on Kickstarter, which is doing really well.
Thanks.
So we'll definitely get into that book and talk about that. But I mean, I brought you here for a reason. We talked about a little bit online.
Yeah.
And we said we were going to go into this whole situation that happened with you getting canceled.
Let's do it. I never listen to those shows where it's just straight promo. They get so boring.
Yeah.
So we don't even have to plug it. Like, that was a good enough plug right there to say that it's on Kickstarter, and let's just get into this, man.
All right, man. Everybody go check out that Kickstarter.
Yeah,
I'll have the link in the show notes.
Let's not interrupt this show with unnecessary promo. You guys know where to find it. Let's get into the nitty gritty.
So I guess a great way to start this is a quick background. As we're recording this last week, a hashtag broke out surrounding the death of Ian McKinney, who was, for all intents and purposes, a good dude. It was hashtag comics broke me. And it was a lot of, and tell me if I'm being fair on this evaluation of it. It was a lot of pros, amateurs, people across the comics industry talking about how the comics business is not fair, or they were getting bad pay rates, and some of them were not getting paid at all. Things of this nature. Would that be a fair summary?
Yeah. Whenever someone asks me what that hashtag was, I say the hashtag comics broke me has 4 stages. Mm-hmm. The first stage was hashtag comics broke me. Our friend Ian passed away. He was a really hard worker, and the story is that he worked himself to death.
Yeah.
The second stage of hashtag comics broke me is, hey, there's a lot of publishers who don't pay on time, because apparently they owed Ian money. Apparently a company owed Ian money. So that's kind of how the talk of publishers came in. Then the third stage of hashtag comics broke me was, hey, I have everyone saying, hey, I have a story about how comics broke me. And that's kind of where I first saw it. That's when it really blew up, is when everyone started talking about their own personal stories. And then the fourth stage of hashtag comics broke me was hashtag comics broke me. You should go check out my comic. And then it just became promotion. And it just became like a hashtag comics broke me. Go check out my Kickstarter or Indiegogo. So I saw it in the third stage, where people were like, I worked at Marvel to draw Spider-Man. They said they'd only pay me like $30 a page. I took it. It drove me to poverty, blah, blah, blah. Those were the tweets I saw. And then over time, as I was getting into the hashtag, then I learned about, Ian and his passing and whatnot. But a lot of them were just woe is me.
Yeah. And that's the third stage is where I jumped in as well, where I started to see things and all that.
That's where it went. I mean, that's when it went big, viral.
And I don't really, I post on Twitter, I interact on Twitter, but I don't live on Twitter. So I kind of caught it after the fact. I even caught your situation after the fact. But so I think a great way to start this is to just jump into the tweet that's now infamous. So if you don't mind, I'm going to read it verbatim.
Do it. Read it.
So Tyler tweeted on June 11th at 10:19 a.m. Honestly, this hashtag comics broke me thread tells me that most creatives are terrible at 1, business, 2, making financial decisions, 3, and self-education. Reading these posts are sad, but don't act like there was a gun to your head to say yes to a $25 page rate. It's 2023. Do your own thing. Do you regret any of that tweet?
No, because the second tweet, which doesn't really get the second tweet, which never really gets mentioned, is the how to avoid this pain. How can you avoid this pain? Learn business, learn marketing. Here are 2 books that will really help you to do this, to build an audience. Learn that you need to make content for an audience. Your comic is not a content, it's not product. Then I ended it with, hey, if you feel like you're getting screwed over, um, send me a DM, because I'm a creator. I've been doing indie comics for 10 years. I've signed my fair share of really bad deals. And I even said in my live stream, like with Coins of Judas, we'll talk about that. I drew the entire third issue without signing a contract. Like that was such an idiotic mistake of mine. And then they canceled me. And then they cut me off from the book. And they're like, well, we don't have to pay you. And I'm like, that's fair. I'm like, I can't get angry at that, because I'm like, yeah, I made a really poor business decision. So I told people like, hey, like you can hit me up and I can help you like navigate if you're getting screwed. Also, my day job for the last 5 years before I left 2 weeks ago was I worked in the publishing industry. My job was signing authors and then marketing their books and then selling them. And I took the company, this publishing company, from $10,000 a year in revenue to 5 million. Just me and one other guy. And so like I understand the facets of publishing and signing authors and contracts and marketing and sales. And I've brought that into my own creator stuff. So do I regret that tweet? No, I don't. I'm wishing I'll tell you this. I just tweeted it. Like if anyone who's familiar with me on Twitter, that's like such a vanilla post for me. I do that.
Yeah.
I do a post like that like every week typically. Like just this time I used a hashtag that was popular, that brought in the attention. And so like typically a tweet like that can get anywhere from 5 to 10,000 views. Well, I used a hashtag and it got over 100,000 views, and I pissed off the wrong people. So do I regret it? No, I don't. I don't regret it.
I mean, so you say that you pissed off the wrong people, and I'll say at face value, like I don't disagree with your tweet either. I think I've talked to a lot of comic creators over the years and dealt with a lot of behind the scenes over the years, and I see it. Like a lot of comic creators, rightfully so, want to create comics. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what they're here to do, and I can understand why they didn't want to get into this other thing, but the unfortunate reality of the world is they have to.
Yes.
So why do you think this blew up and people were so mad about it?
Well, there's two reasons. One, I pointed a mirror in front of them,
Mhm.
and I basically said, "Hey, this is your fault." No one really likes it when they're told something's their fault. And so I basically said, like, a lot of the decisions that you guys are making are your fault. Like, for example, how heated am I allowed to get here, Chris?
Oh, curse all you want, say whatever you
Okay, well, I'm
want.
just like,
You're free.
I look at someone like Mags Visaggio, who does work for like DC and stuff, and like I don't know what her pronouns are. I'm just gonna go with they to stay safe. They are like working in comics full time, and yet I think they're on their 7th indie like GoFundMe in the last like year. So it's like you need to, like, to me, I'm like, make better financial decisions so you don't have to like be doing GoFundMe's to like pay your rent every month. Like maybe you need to get a better job. Like for me, the reason why I left my publishing job is because for the last 6 months, I lost like 20% of my pay. I've been eating up my savings with my family, and I was like, gosh, I need to find a new job. I I applied to Burger King and McDonald's like 3 weeks ago. Like I had interviews set for McDonald's and Burger King, and then luckily this company that I called, I was like, "Yo, you really want me? You're gonna really want me." They like interviewed me and they said yes, and like really they shouldn't have, because I really bullshit my whole way through, and it's been a hard 2 weeks working there. But no, but I realized like I need to be in charge of my financial situation. And so I think, one, I put a mirror in front of them, and two, the reason why they got mad is because of what I'm going to call their moral hypocrisy. Because a lot of the people, did you know who Ian was, Chris?
I had talked to Ian once behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I knew one of his collaborators who was on the show years ago when he was doing Rocco's Modern Life.
Okay.
I'm not like close to him or anything.
But you've
I've
been
had
around
an
the block so
interaction.
that you would know him, like, or know of him.
Yes.
I would say 90% of the of people didn't know who he was. Like like who like a like didn't like I've been on 2 or 3 other shows of people who had me on to talk about the situation, and I always ask, did you know the person? They always say no. And I didn't know this person. um I didn't know this person. So a lot of people were trying to make this moral high ground of saying like you made his death about you, like that like, I used the opportunity to put down the community. In fact, someone wrote, his name's Anthony Antoinito on Twitter. He says, you can't, he's just talking about me. He says, you can't expect empathy when you have none yourself. I have tons of empathy. But he says, someone died and you're making it about you. Gross. So he's saying you're making this hashtag about you. But I could do the same. I could say the same thing about every. I could say the same thing about every pro and every creator who was on that stage 3 of the hashtag. They just said, they just didn't say something as mirroring. So you have Nadia Summers, who does regular work on Marvel. She does a 10 tweet thread about her arthritis. That's Comics Broke Me. No mention of Ian,
Yeah.
at all. So I could say someone died and Nadia made it about herself. I could do Camilla Zhang, who is the Kickstarter head of comics and worked with Scott Snyder. Her story is the same thing. Comics broke me. I had a hard time. Misogyny, feminist. I could say someone died and Camilla made it about herself. Someone died. Heather Antos made it about herself. Someone died. Scott Snyder made it about himself. Neil Gaiman made it about himself. I could pinpoint it to every creator, big and small, and put them in that same little thing. The only difference is that my tweet, everyone else was like, let's give hugs and empathy, and mine was like, this, there is a problem that we're all talking about, but none of you guys are talking about the solutions, and here's the solution. And no one liked that.
Yeah, and that also kind of brings me, this is jumping ahead a little bit, but
Very good.
that makes me think a little bit about the Gail Simone tweet as well, which was almost identical to yours. I think maybe
She said it nicer.
Yeah, a tad more empathetic, a tad nicer, maybe. I mean, I
Yes.
don't, whatever word you want to use, but like she was saying the same things and got praised for it.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen the show True Detective?
No.
Dang it. Well, there's this the one of the main characters' name is Rust Cole. He's played by Matthew McConaughey. His partner goes up to him and is just like, you need to change. You need to be this. And he's like, I have spent a lifetime becoming the person that I am, and I'm not going to change it just because of you.
Mm-hmm.
He says it a lot cooler than what I just said. but basically, like, yeah, like I like when I told my wife about this, she was like, oh my God. I was like, hey, I just lost my publishing thing with Band of Bards. And she's like, oh my gosh, what did you say? And I told her, and she goes, oh, that's it? And I was like, yeah, that's a Tuesday for me. Like, that's how I talk. And yeah, I mean, I've never been accepted in the creator community, like creative community. Like, even the ones here in my local, like, they don't accept me. Like, I don't get invited to any of the meetups or the cons. I know them all by name. They all know me by name, but they never invite me. And it's because I think differently than them. I act differently than them. I mean, I got a full ride scholarship for art, and it pissed them off because I was just drawing cartoons for the newspaper, and they were all in fine art and whatnot. And they didn't get scholarships and whatnot. And so it's just, I've never been accepted in the creator community, and maybe it's because of my communication. Because you're right, Gail Simone said the same thing, but she said it in like a kinder, more like, it sucks that we have to do marketing, but that's just the way it is, and let's hug each other. And I was like, if you don't do marketing, you're gonna suck. So, and yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and that's how I felt. And listening to people behind the scenes or in private channels and everything talk about it, I felt like one of the things too that was really weird about how people were talking about it, and I think it's just, I don't mean this in a dirty way, I mean it in a literal way, like it's ignorance. I saw people getting really mad that you were kind of punching back at some of the people, like quote tweeting you or commenting or saying some of these nasty things about you. And I don't know if that I don't know you that well. We just meeting here today, but I don't know if that's your personality or not. But I also was thinking to myself, like in the moment, like the dude's getting attacked, whether it's rightful or correct or wrong or whatever it is, just like he's against the wall. Of course, he's going to swing back a few.
Yeah.
Did any of that, like, do you regret any of that, or was there anything in that moment where you're like, "Fuck, I wish I didn't say that," or
No, because I always say this. I've been saying this to everyone. Go back in that thread and find any of my responses. Good luck finding two tweets where I was rude, called someone a name, um, called for violence on them. Like you can't find two tweets. I say two because I know there's one tweet where I said, shut the fuck up and your receding hairline, motherfucker. Like I know I said that. I know I said that to one person and they deleted their tweet because their tweet was like, no one should take business from you because you can't sell comics. And they screenshotted an old Indiegogo I did with 37 backers. And I was like, and then it got the attention of like a Marvel pro, which like and they're like, Tyler, like calm down, like it's okay to not be able to sell books. And I was like, listen, motherfucker, here's the screenshots of my last three Kickstarters. Each of them did like 12K and up. So it's not 37 backers. I just got done packing 500 books last night. And so I like did that, got angry. So I think that's the only tweet where I was I would say I was vile. But like, I mean, people were calling me a Nazi, people were calling me a racist. Like those are really defamatory things. People, someone said, I got called a dick all day. Someone said, I hope you get your hand chopped off. Um, so it's like, yeah, if I was getting that all day for 48 hours, those kind of comments. And so it's like, if anything, like the fact that I didn't go off even more than I did, because I was very polite to most of these people. Like I should have been way worse. I mean, yeah, people dug up my old Facebook posts. Like I'd private my Facebook. I mean, my family's on there. I don't need these weirdos finding old posts from like 8 to 10 years ago. Yeah, so I don't regret my behavior except for calling someone like a ugly motherfucker for their receding hairline. I'm looking at you, Henry, if you're listening to this. I remember your name. But everything else I handled really well in terms of like what I tweeted back at these people.
yeah, I was personally I was a little confused on that because I didn't think you were terrible. I thought you were punching back, but you were punching back strategically. That's
Yeah,
a
I mean, if someone's gonna be rude at you, like, I hope you get your hand cut off.
there's
I need
no
to look
excuse for that.
I need to look like a professional. So if I say, well, I hope you get shot in the head, like I look just as bad as that person, if not worse. And so if anything, you just go, that's not very nice. Or you just go, I wrote which hand, left or right. Um, like hopefully they say left because my drawing hand's the right. But yeah, like what you said though is very true. Like I saw some people sent me some of the screenshots of the back channels, these DM groups that I'm not in, but they're talking about me. And the common consensus was, I agree with what he said. I don't agree with though how he said it, and I don't like that he doubled down and didn't apologize. And that was a big thing. And that's what the publisher said to me. That's what Band of Bards said to me, is they said, we agree with what you said, but we don't like that you were doubling down and that you didn't apologize. And I'm like, why do I need to apologize for this? This is so vanilla. I didn't say anything racist, homophobic, like none of that. It was just, hey, get better at business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned like people are digging up old tweets and Facebook posts and everything. One of them was, I hope you don't mind me bringing this up,
You're
but
good.
one of them was that you were a Trump supporter at one point, or still are. I don't know. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
Um, that came up, and do you think that like maybe that took it to the next level, or that maybe had anything to do with future, like what happened afterwards, or how did that make you feel?
um at first it made me angry because if you're gonna I don't even know how I would I don't even know how I'd find that Facebook post. It was from like 8 years ago. So the fact that someone combed through my personal Facebook, combed through all my family photos, the pictures of my sons getting born, my marriage, my dating life, just to find a tweet where, and I was working at the newspaper at the time, like I was paid every single day to draw cartoons of Trump. That was my job. And so like, yeah, it made me angry that someone would be so miserable with their life that they have to comb through my personal Facebook to find those tweets. And what's crazy as well is if you like read the tweet, it's not like I say anything bad in there. It says, "Hey guys, I listened to Hillary and I listened to her viewpoints. I don't agree with it. I listened to this candidate. I just wasn't okay with it. I listened to this and I went, but after doing my research, I feel like, this is the candidate that I want to vote for, and this is the American way, and everyone should be able to vote for who they want." That's what it said. Which I think is a very level-headed thing to say. What I didn't like as well is they used it to paint me like, if you vote for Trump, you are automatically a Nazi. If you and that kind of stuff goes to show how mentally ill so many of these people are, because they lack critical thinking skills, and they lack empathy and understanding. Like if you like Trump, or if you voted Republican, or if you're conservative or Christian, you're already a neo-Nazi, right wing, blah blah. And it's like, if that's like, you can't argue with those people at that point. Like, they've made up their mind. And so, but to be called a Nazi is, that's very damaging to someone's career, someone's to reputation. um and it's very disgusting. Honestly, it's very disgusting to be called that, and a racist. Whether I am or not, I'm not, but it's very disgusting to be called that, especially someone who is Chinese.
I luckily never in public, although maybe I'm opening a door right now. But I have in private been called all those things, and they're fucking hurtful, man.
It's
Like,
gross.
yeah, I mean, it's one thing when it's some rando on the internet. I'm sure that still hurts, but like when it's people that know you, god damn, man, it gets right down to your soul. Like
Yeah.
I didn't recover for that for a while, and it sucked. Um, Especially somebody who, I mean, I grew up I live in New York, like not in the city, but in the state. And like my brother's gay, my best friend's black. Like I know people all across the spectrum, and never had an issue with anybody. And to be called that, like, just, oh, it burned me so bad. So I can only imagine. You were getting it 10 times. I got it like once or twice in private.
And I'm getting it from people that, like, I know, people I've talked with, people I've shared like a space with. Um, like I had Blake Spuzz calling me a Nazi and a racist, and then I had Chris, the co-founder of Band of Bards, agreeing with him. And I'm blocked by all of these people, so I can't even defend myself. I just have to watch from the sidelines as people degrade my character, and they don't even give me a chance to defend myself. And that's why I think what I hated the most is someone can go, "He's a Nazi," and then that's just that. Now I'm a Nazi. I'm a Nazi forever to these people, with no opportunity to defend myself, and whatnot. And I mean, to these people, I don't really care. I don't. They're not my focus. To me, they're all nothing burgers. But it's still disgusting to experience that.
Yeah. And I mean, to go along with that, another bad word you were called, and I've heard adjacent and just flat out, that you're comic skate.
Yeah,
You have any comment on that?
yeah. I mean, once again, these people are mentally ill, and they lack critical thinking skills. And so, yeah, Ethan Van Sciver retweeted my tweet. They said he said,
Yep.
looking into this. Um, and that immediately paints me as Comicscape, because Ethan Van Sciver, the tweet gets so big. Of course, people with YouTube channels are going to want to talk about it.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, Ethan goes and people go, "Oh, he must be Comicscape because Ethan retweeted it." Ethan hates me. Ethan like will wake up one day and pick my name out of a hat and go, it's Tyler's day. Let's attack Tyler all day. Like I woke up one day with like 100 notifications on my phone, and it was all stuff about the growth of Megafist, and I'm like, yes, finally, like been working real hard for this. And Ethan posted, he goes, look at this shit art done by Tyler. His book is called The Growth of Megafist. And then it was all people like, yeah, fuck the girl with Megafist, like she sucks, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is not what I wanted to wake up to. Even on his stream, he goes, yeah, you guys see that this Tyler guy, he got canceled by his publisher, and then they're like, yeah. He goes, he's not even talented enough to get a publisher, so like I don't even know how he did that. And then he goes, well, let's just move on. Like this guy doesn't like me. Comicsgate doesn't like me. Like they're higher ups. Like there's little people in Comicsgate who are like, I'm Comicsgate, but you're like, you know, they're just creators trying to do whatever. But if you're looking at like the overarching hierarchy of Comicsgate, all hate me. I'm best friends with one of the people they absolutely hate, and that's how I get lumped into it, because they go, denounce this person. I go, no, they're my bet. Like if they're like a really good friend, they go, oh, well, fuck you. So yeah, to say I'm comics, and that's the thing, like in like indie comics, to be labeled a Nazi, to be labeled a racist, like you can maybe like pivot through those. To be labeled Comicsgate in the indie comic sphere, like that's the A. Like that's the A, and you know, it's like, okay, like where's the proof? And they never can show proof. They can never show proof of it. But yeah, that also hurts. And then here's the thing: I know Comicsgate well enough to know that if I go, I'm not Comicsgate, they will. Then the Comicsgate people will be coming on this end attacking me, and so now I'm fighting. You're Comicsgate. No, I'm not Comicsgate. And then, well, why aren't you Comicsgate? What's so bad about us? And now I'm fighting two wars. And this is a horrible analogy for the story, but I'm like, look at Hitler when he tried to fight on both sides, Russia and Europe. It's like the worst example.
Picked the wrong person to compare
the wrong person. But he lost, and so yeah, it's a losing battle. There needs to be a better person who made that kind of mistake.
Yeah. We'll do some research and get it in post. Yeah, so like all this kind of bubbled over, and I don't know if it happened to any of your other collaborators, but obviously people of the show know that I'm good friends with Travis Gibb, and I talk with him all the time, and we have him on the show here and there. And I know he got a ton of heat from it too. I mean, so weird that there just wasn't enough hate for you. They had to spill it over to others. I mean,
yeah. What's I mean, his hate was like a little different. His hate was like, how come you are with this guy? How come, like, why are you friends with this guy? Why did you do a book with this guy? But a lot of it was like, as well, was like we were getting attacked by other Band of Bards creators, and he was getting attacked by those people. Like, why are you okay with Tyler? And like I always told everyone, like everyone was like saying like, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? My goal in life was never to work for DC or Marvel. Like I have no aspirations for that. Travis does. And these are his peers. these mentally ill people. These are his peers. And so like I told Travis, even before the whole like when the tweet got like 10,000 hits and people started getting a little angry, I texted Travis. I said, hey, I love you, Travis. You're one of my good friends. For some reason, this tweet's hit 10,000. People are starting to get mad. If you need to drop me as a friend, know that I'm giving you permission to, because I know it's going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt me. Because, I mean, the moment Band of Bards said, your book is canceled, I'm like, well, there's my content for the next 3 weeks. There's my content for the next 3 weeks. And it just like pushes me more into the indies, into the independent sphere. And with Travis, it's like he wasn't getting called all of those things. If he was, I hope he wasn't. His is different. His is an attack on his potential career aspirations. And he's got to save face with these people. I mean, what we know about in comics is that if someone doesn't want to work with you, you're not going to work for Marvel. If a writer who's writing Spider-Man goes, yo, you don't sees you on Twitter and goes, I don't like you, then you don't have a chance. You don't have a chance. And so for Travis, it was, I mean, I told Travis every single day, I was like, dude, do what you need to do to like separate yourself away from me. And Travis, being a stubborn friend, was like, dude, I'm ride or die. And I'm like, yeah, Travis, but I'm going to be a better friend and cut you off. Because when we did get that phone call about Band of Bards, they canceled the book. They said we were just going to cancel the book. And I called Travis and I was like, hey, I know you. He's like, yo, I need the publishing credits, Tyler. And I was like, I'll give you the ownership. I'll give you my ownership of this book. And then you can, and then if Band of Bards will allow you to keep doing it with Band of Bards, just I'll be off of it and I'll separate myself from you. And luckily they took it. So they're still working on Coins of Judas. They're looking for a new artist, but I'm just not associated with the book anymore. And I did that because I could have made the situation way worse. But I love Travis, and I was like, you know what, let's just. I don't want to hurt Travis. Like that'd be a dick move of me. Like I know I'll be able to get through this. Um, so yeah, I wanted to make sure I could protect Travis in all of that.
Yeah, and to my knowledge, he never really disowned you or did any of that stuff, right? Like,
No. He's been very good, but it is weird. It is weird though. I mean, the next day, and you know, and I've said it, and I've told him like it hurt my feelings. But like the next day, he's got to pander to people that were rude to me. He's got to
yeah,
be all jolly good with all the Band of Bards creators. He's got to have them on his show. He's got to, you know, talk with Blake's Buzz, and it's like all the people that called me all those horrible names and all those mean things, and the people that I absolutely just hate. The next day, I go on his Twitter and I can see that he's like, "Hey, you're doing such a good job. Oh, I love you, man." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, I get it. Like, I see what he's doing. I get it. It's totally okay. It still hurts. And so, like, he does a creator hangout, and I used to get the link every single time to go on. I can't go on now because then the people there are gonna be like, "Whoa, Travis, you're still with Tyler. He did the thing," and then I'll probably go in guns blazing and be like, "I hate all of you guys. I got screenshots." So yeah, we're just. I mean, we talk every day. We still talk. Like we were talking like for like an hour today. So like our relationship isn't necessarily strained, but like publicly, like we can't really go near each other.
yeah. So we've said it like probably a million times in this half an hour, but the big culmination of this, the canceling, if you will, was when Band of Bards killed the book.
Yeah.
And I remember this moment very well. I won't get into why because that's private, but the book like you said, the book got canceled, and then you did the right thing and gave over ownership and all that. Did they give you? I mean, you kind of said earlier, but did they give you a more specific reason? Was it really just like, hey, you doubled down and we think you're an asshole? Or
Yeah, that's really what it is. And I recorded not the asshole part. They were it was a very professional phone call, and I have it recorded. I've listened to that thing like 10 times. Like not to go after them, but just to like, find some meaning into like what happened, like understand. It really was just like, hey, we're getting a lot of heat and it's bad for the brand. Cause like people go, Tyler works at Band of Bards and all these people, and it the people that Band of Bards wants, like, here's the thing. The people who attacked me were creators. It wasn't readers. And so like my brand has always focused on putting readers first. Which is why like when people are like, you're never gonna do business ever again after this, I put out a book and like I funded in 20 minutes. Like my readers are fine, like because I focus on my readers. And so Band of Bards, however, they want that validation from that creator community. And if 90% of your creators are saying, hey, we don't want to be part of this company because this guy's in it, I can kind of see them like like going, oh, like this is such a bad image for us. People are starting to tag us in it. You know, you have someone like Blake's Buzz, who he had like Steve Orlando on the other day, and he'll get like these big Marvel and DC comic writer and artist on his show, and he's talking bad about their brand because I'm associated with it. It's just I get that it's optics. I do think I think it's a bad business decision on their end because Travis and I, our book was their number one selling book by like thousands of copies. So it's like, why would you? So in my mind, I thought we were always safe because we sold the most copies of in this company. There's no way that a struggling independent publishing company is going to cancel their only book that makes sales. Turns out they were gonna, and then I swooped in with a better deal. But yeah, it was really just you know what they said. Actually, I can't say that because they told me I was told in private. Anyways, it was a very professional conversation that we had, and I was told that they were shocked by how professional I was on the phone call. Like they thought I was going to be going guns blazing, but like I was very professional. I was like, I understand. I kind of saw this coming, and good luck to you guys. And that was actually hard because I have screenshots of like 10 of their Band of Bards creators going, fuck you, Tyler, go kill yourself, blah, blah, you're awful, blah, blah. And the next day, once this is all done, they get to announce their Band of Bards books and when they're going into comic book stores. But like, I'm the one that got canceled. So like that puts a sour taste in my mouth in terms of how Band of Bards dealt with. They said they're going to deal with those creators, but I mean, like, how did they deal with it? Like putting their book into stores?
I'll say I don't normally go on these tangents on the show, but I'm going to say this: like, they don't want people talking bad about their brand. I won't buy another Band of Bards book again because outside of maybe Coins of Judas, because I'm good friends with
Yeah,
Travis.
buy Coins of Judas.
Yeah.
I say that whenever I do an interview, I go, listen, I will still be there. The day one Coins of Judas 3 comes out, I'll be buying that book.
Yeah, and the reason I say that is now I know that they will never put out a book that pushes the limit. They will never do it because the second somebody even like tickled the line, they said, "Oh, we're out. We don't want to do it. Get them out of here." So why would anybody go there to push the line? Why would anybody go there to push the limit and say we're going to do something cool and unique and that really goes against the grain? That won't happen at Band of Bards ever.
No. Well, I mean, their stories are very vanilla. I mean, for a company whose motto is like inclusion, diversity, storytelling, like all of their creators are like not diverse because they're all like in the LGBTQ community. And you know, like they don't have that like Travis and I were pretty diverse because he's pretty liberal, I'm pretty conservative, and then I'm Asian, so do I get to check that off as person of color? You know, and so it was just like, yeah, I mean, I hate talking about this kind of stuff, but yeah, it just it kind of just sucked that it was like for a company that's all about diversity and inclusion. I mean, all these people that have diversity and inclusion, they're not really about diversity or inclusion because they're not very diverse. For some, you know, you have like Blake's Buzz, who's like love more, hate less. I've never seen more hate come out of a person than out of Blake. And so I find it all very hypocritical. And yeah, like I said, I don't talk bad about Band of Bards because like Coins of Judas is still there, and I support Travis. And like I said, I'll be there to buy issue 3 of Coins of Judas. But like the moment they drop Travis, like flamethrower on that brand.
Yeah.
But I'm also blocked, so like I can't even see what they're doing.
And I'll throw a caveat out there real quick. Like all these people you're mentioning, I'm friendly with. I don't have an issue with.
Oh no,
I
I
see
know.
where you're coming from, and I'm just more for the audience than for you. I see where you're coming from, and all of that. I personally disagreed with some comments that were coming out of some of these people as well. I was kind of sitting back going like, I don't know, guys. I think we're over exaggerating something here, but that was how I felt in the moment.
People
And
got
yeah.
really heated about that tweet. Like it was like I've reread that thing like 1,000 times. Like like, learn, Tyler. What did you say? Did I use the wrong adjective? And like, I had a creator, um, Devin R. Scott, who's a band of bards. I mean, I have screenshots of him going, "My day just got made seeing Tyler get canceled from his band of bards contract." You know, I have a screenshot like that. I have other screenshots of him like publicly like, "Oh yeah, this is like, you know, he's a bad person, blah blah." And then like yesterday he messaged me and was just like, "Hey man, like you really survived this all thing. Good job, like blah blah. You're a really good person." Like and I'm like, and I didn't respond, but I just like I read these things and I go, I just spent like the whole week getting piled on. You were one of the people that piled on, and now you're gonna be like, good job surviving that, like go you. It's like, no, I just like lost so many friends. And maybe I didn't lose friends, but like the dynamic has changed with me and these friends. Like now I'm blacklisted. I can't hang out with these people. I can't go to a con and like with some of these people, especially the ones who would be like, he was right. I'm just not going to say it publicly because then I'll get piled on. There's a lot of those. So yeah, like I see a message like that from Devin, and I don't respond because I'm like, what do I do? I mean, do I send him a screenshot? I go, hey, is this you? Did you say this? Did you say I'm laughing that he got canceled? Is this the same person? And um, maybe there will be room for forgiveness down the line. But yeah, I think a lot of people just got heated for some, like that was just for some reason a very emotional day. Everyone was, I don't know, super emotional. The moon was in the wrong position in space. Their horoscope was telling them something. Like, I don't know.
Do you do you ever get the feeling that the true distaste, hatred, anger towards you was just the fact that you're conservative?
Dude, I hope not. Cause I don't talk politics on my anything public. Um, so like if it is, I mean if that is, that's disgusting. Um, but you know, someone said that Tyler has to be conservative because he's all about picking yourself up by your bootstraps, and that's you know, that's Republican shit. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? Like that, like saying work hard and make your dreams come true, that's Republican shit. Like that, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I hope it isn't. I hope it isn't because I'm conservative. Yeah, I really hope it isn't. That'd be gross. That would send a
Yeah.
message. That would send a message to everyone saying if you're I mean, there kind of already is that message. I mean, that's why Comicsgate kind of is their own thing because it's very conservative Republican people who like got quote unquote blacklisted. And they go there and they'll do their political videos and whatnot. And like, I mean, I don't talk about politics on Twitter or on my YouTube. Like, I don't want to.
I'll say I don't talk politics either. I just don't. I'm personally a very political person, but I just don't do it publicly for a multitude of reasons. One, because I don't think anybody cares.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not a conservative. I'm something else, but I'm just not part of what the general consensus is. I'll put it that
Uh-huh.
way. And I think that is the reason.
You think it was because I was conservative?
I think I've seen it too many times where I think that somebody who is on that spectrum to the right is an easy target. And as soon as they trip over their own foot or do something even a little bit bad, it's dogpile time. It's time to prove that we're the true,
Mm-hmm.
we're this, we don't stand for these people and all this. And I think that a lot of people in comics, I think a lot of people in entertainment really want to be in politics, but have chosen this as their medium to get their
To get their
politics out there.
message. You know, it's crazy because my I had a friend say the same thing. Is like, I wonder if they're dogpiling because you're conservative. I was like, where are they getting that tweet though from? Like where are they getting that from my personal? And I even had someone say like, oh, you can tell that you're a Nazi just from your profile on Twitter. So I did a screen record of my Twitter profile and I scrolled through 5 days worth of content, and I was like, I don't see one thing that would mention any of my political beliefs. And it's like, I don't talk about it. I mean, if someone were to really like the people who know me, they know I'm not. I'm like I have some. I have some conservative values, but like politically, like I hate like 99% of Republicans and like 99% of like Democrats. In fact, like I might vote Democrat this year because I might vote Democrat in the next election because I'm not very talking about politics. Like I'm like looking at all the Republican candidates right now. I'm like this isn't good. Like this isn't good. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking our choices this year. And so it's like I'm one of those middle ground people. In fact, like that's why I don't do journalism anymore because I thought journalism was showcasing both sides of the story. And the paper I worked at, they were like, "Hey, this is during Trump's election." They go, "Hey, I was like, "Hey, our front page should be like these are all the pros and cons of Trump. Here are all the pros and cons of like Hillary. And then we can like let our viewers like, figure out the policies and stuff." And they're like, "No, we're pro Hillary paper." And I went, "You can't be pro anything because we're the newspaper. Like we're journalists. We're not pro anything. Like we just tell everything." They go, "No, no, no." They go, "No, no, no. Like we vet all of our opinions and like are these stories and we make sure that it's all slanted." I go, "Oh, but we're not supposed to do that because I watched a show once and they like were like, you don't do that as journalists." And they're like, "No, we do." And I went, "Then I don't think I can do this as a career anymore." And I left.
Tyler, as somebody who went to journalism school and has a degree, you are right.
Yeah,
That's why I don't work in
I have
journalism.
a degree in journalism too, and when I got into it, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Have you seen the show The Newsroom?
Yes.
I thought that's what it was like. Like, we will be better than everyone else. No.
I love that show. And yeah, unfortunately.
I cry during that show because I'm like, this is what it's supposed to be like. And then it was like not like that at all. And that saddens me because yeah, that's that. I'm a huge believer of journalism and I'm a big believer of talking to people of different faiths and beliefs and getting down to
Yeah.
like even if you don't agree, like let me at least talk with you. And it was just sad. It was in journalism was like we don't do that, and I didn't like that. And so with my in comics, it's kind of getting to that, right? It's really getting to that.
Yeah.
In the entertainment space where it's like you can get blacklisted and I mean yeah I'll never work for Marvel and DC just because one person said I voted for Trump.
I said earlier, I have friends, diverse friends on the superficial standpoint. I also, like, I'm in upstate New York. Like, people may not know this, but like, walk down my street, it's a bunch of Trump signs. I know a lot of Trump people. I know a lot of super liberal people. I'm friends with a lot of different people. Like,
You can coexist.
yeah, like we can all be friends. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, I tweeted. I was someone in during this like whole hashtag thing. One of the people, his name is Chris Tomasa, and he was like, "Hey, I don't." He's like, "Hey, I don't." He goes, "Are you going to attack me on your show?" And I went, "No, like you're allowed to have your opinions, dude. Like I love." He's like, "I don't know why you're following me, Tyler." And I was like, "Dude, I like that you post stuff that I disagree with because I've changed my viewpoints on several things
Yes.
because of you." So I'm like, I'm really grateful that like you have diverse opinions. I want to, and I'm glad that we can coexist. And his response was, "But I don't think we should coexist." And I was like, "Oh, well then go fuck yourself, Chris." Like, well, in that case, go fuck yourself. So yeah, it's just it's very sad that in even the comic community where we should be celebrating like where we should be talking about, all these cool superpowers and whatnot and all these cool storylines. We're just so fixated on what people are, who they vote for and stuff. Very ugly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so not that it's blown over per se, but now that we're kind of past it a little bit, I mean, we talked for 2 seconds about your Kickstarter going on right now. I think you're fine.
Yeah,
you're
yeah, like
you're almost at $10,000 right now.
yeah, I was always gonna be fine. Like
Yeah.
I said this, I said this on my live stream. I was like, the day before I did it, I had a content, I paid someone like a big YouTuber. I paid them too much money so they could teach me how to, do YouTube better. And they were like, I gave them like the keys to my channel. They analyzed everything. And I go, Tyler, all your commentary stuff, that gets views. And I was like, but I don't want to, I was like, but I was like, I like that, but I want to do these kind of videos. And they said, well, you should start a new channel from zero and do those other videos on that channel, but keep your draw and talk to your commentary videos because people like your unabashed opinions and it's very tied to your Twitter. And I was like, okay, I'll think about it. And so when this thing happened, I was like, okay, fine. You know what? I'm just going to start giving my opinions now even more frequently than you guys thought of. And I'll just put all this other vanilla content over here and I'll do all the heated stuff here. So yeah, like I'm fine. My Kickstarter is almost at 10K. Yeah, I still have a publishing deal with Antarctic Press. I just packaged 500 books yesterday to send out to people. My online store, just like I was my plan was to always be independent. Well, my plan was always to be independent. And so when I signed on with Band of Bards 3 years ago, I kind of knew that like at some point we were going to have a disagreement. I just knew like there was gonna like something was gonna happen eventually. I just really hoped it wouldn't because of how well we've been working for the last couple of years. Um, so yeah, like my plan was always to be independent, and this is blown over. Nothing's really changed. I got 500, I got 700 new followers that day, of all people, and it's like people who agree with me. So it's like, oh great, like did this hurt me? Like did it hurt me? I did a podcast yesterday and they were like, Tyler, like it hurts you from getting opportunities. And I'm like, what opportunities? Was I even going to want them? Chances are probably no. So yeah, this doesn't hurt. It hurt my feelings. I think that's what it did.
I also think if you gave it a few years, maybe not even that long, and went for a publishing deal down the line, nobody's going to remember this.
No one's gonna. And I tried telling Band of Bard. Like, well, here's the thing that no one's talking about that hashtag anymore. No, I told Band of Bards, I was like, dude, don't do that. I was like, guys, don't do this. Like, this is gonna blow over in a week. No one's gonna give a crap. Like the new thing now is someone posted about like there has been 3 big viral moments in the like since it like there was a tracing one, there was a race bending one, and a gender bending one. All 3 of which I think were worse than what I said. And like so there it's Twitter. There is going to be a dog pile every day of something. And so like I was like, don't react. I was like, guys, don't react to this because this is actually a nothing burger. And these people don't even buy your books anyways. So they're not your customers. But yeah, they chose it. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's a nothing burger that blew over. I told Antarctic Press, I was like, yo, this is what happened. And he just laughed. The guy just laughed. He goes, okay, well, when you're finished with your other books, we'll just sign them. Like we'll sign your other books immediately. So you're good. So like, I mean, I'm fine. I'm fine.
So I know you got a hard out, so I'll just give you real quick. Do you have any closing comments on the whole thing, or?
I haven't. On my closing, I think I wish people would be a little nicer. I think I wish people would be a little nicer. Like for people who preach like empathy and stuff, like they're very non-empathetic. They're very non-empathetic, and they're very okay with ruining they're okay with ruining people's lives and then the next day going and living their day. Like I think that's why I was so angry. I was super angry over the weekend. My wife was like, you need to calm down, but I was like, I'm going to burn this shit to the ground. Like the reason why I was so angry is because these people spent maybe like a couple hours of their day to get angry, and then they canceled me. And then the next day they get to move on with their life. And now, but I don't get to move on with my life. I now have to deal with the repercussions. I have to deal with the loss of a publishing deal. I have to deal with the fact that I just lost X amount of money that was guaranteed in my pocket. And now I don't get that. And these people will just do it again and again and again to people. And I'll say this: if you open the door to cancel someone, you're also opening that door for yourself. These people. I mean, I was telling Travis this, and I love Travis. I was like, dude, like, I see you pandering these people. I totally understand it. There's going to be a day where they're going to backstab you. Like, they'll backstab you to get an inch forward in their career. So take that what you will. But yeah, I just think people need to be a little nicer and more empathetic. Coming from the guy who lacks empathy.
I'll say, to add to that, something we used to say a lot more on the show, maybe I need to get back to saying it again, is be better. Like,
Yeah.
just be better. I don't care if the guy who you hate, I don't care if the Comicsgate guy said this thing, or if the guy who you think it has the wrong politics said this thing. Be better than them.
Yeah.
Like, just do better. Yeah.
And
So
be better at business, guys, because you can make a lot more money if you got better at business.
there he is, doubling down again.
There is my doubling down. I've gone on 4 shows, and at the end of every show, the person's like, "You didn't really apologize like I thought you were," and I was like, "I don't plan on apologize. I didn't apologize then. I don't plan on apologizing now."
No, and I told, and speaking to the audience, I told Tyler beforehand that I wanted to have an honest conversation, and this wasn't going to be a gotcha moment, and that we were just going to talk about what happened, and it didn't really matter if I agreed or disagreed or I wanted an apology. That wasn't what this was about. And I hope that's what we did.
We did. You did a great job.
So before we take off, though, Tyler, if anyone out there wants to follow you, where can they find these spicy tweets and whatnot?
Yeah. If you want tweets on how to get better at business and marketing, and so that you don't have to let comics break you, go to at Tyler_C_world. That's where I'm most active, is my Twitter. And then I come out with weekly YouTube videos. We do live streams, and we have a silly goose time there. And it's Draw and Talk, youtube.com/Draw and Talk. And yeah, that's where I put out, comics on the reg. So yeah, go check them out. And Chris, I appreciate you having me here, and it was a very good conversation. It was probably my more fun ones that I've had on this subject. And I appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk with me.
I appreciate you stopping by. And to everybody out there, links to Tyler's content will be in the show notes down below as always. So make sure to check out all that cool stuff.